Are you looking to take a stab at Pinterest advertising but not too sure where to get started? Well, in today's video, I'm going to walk you through step by step exactly how to get your Pinterest ad account set up and have you running your very first ad campaign. Hey, what's going on? My name is Tim. I'm one of the co-founders here at Scary Good Marketing, and we take the fear out of marketing and advertising your business using battle-tested strategies and creativity to bring you a better ROI. And today, I want to help you take a stab at Pinterest advertising because Pinterest advertising is one of the most underutilized ad platforms. And the reason I say it's one of the most underutilized platforms is because I think a lot of people don't really think of Pinterest when they think of social media advertising all the time or spending money on ads. And that's really because Pinterest is still not a very large social media platform comparative to Facebook or Instagram, any of those other platforms, because they really only have 350 million users, active monthly users, which is still a lot of people using the platform. But I just don't think that people understand the great opportunity Pinterest has when it comes to advertising. So the one thing that I think is very startling to a lot of people, and a lot of people don't realize, is that 48% of the time when people go onto Pinterest, it's because they're actually looking for products and services to buy. So Pinterest is really a buyer's market. People that go onto Pinterest are looking to buy products, services, and are really shopping. That's primarily, like I said, 48% of the time is because they are shopping. So unlike Facebook or Instagram, where people are just kind of trying to catch up on news, see what other people are doing, like I said, a lot of people are going on to Pinterest to actually buy things, make purchasing decisions. So it's very, very powerful. Now, with that being said, though, the majority of the market that is on Pinterest is going to be females, and primarily a lot of moms. So if you have a market that really fits females and more specifically moms, you are going to do fantastically well on Pinterest. Now, if your demographics don't fit that, don't worry. There's still a lot of people out there that Pinterest can work for, but I do believe that there are some businesses that may not be able to see as good of results as maybe some other ad platforms. And like I said, it really kind of depends. You really need to get in there and start testing the platform and really start running ads and really having a better idea of the platform. And that's what I want to do today, is I want to really just walk you through step by step. I have my computer, it's right here just out of frame, and I'm going to essentially share my screen, and we're going to walk you through getting your very first Pinterest ad set up. So with that being said, let's go ahead and dive into it. And here we go. Here we are on Pinterest ad platform. So to get to this page, you want to go to ads.pinterest.com. and you will be here. So if you don't have a Pinterest account already set up, you're going to want to go here and click this Get Started, and that's going to have you create your Pinterest account, and more importantly, your business account to be running Pinterest ads. So you'll just click there, get started, go through the steps. It's very, very simple to get everything set up. So if you haven't done that, go ahead, pause this video, do all those steps, and then come back and continue watching it. All right, so moving forward, I'm just going to go and I'm going to log in to our account. Like I said, we already have our ad account and our platform created, and you'll see here that you will want to create a business account. I'm just going to click on up here, and you can see that I have a personal Pinterest account, and whenever I go down here, you can see our company account. So I'm going to switch on over to our company account. That way you can see this is your business hub. So once you're here onto your business hub, there is a few things that we're going to want to get set up so that you can start running Pinterest ads. Now, the one thing is obviously you're going to want to go fill out your name, have something that you're going to have represent your business. And then you can see here that it has this nice little getting started section. So just like it says, you're going to want to create a pin. You're going to need to have, I recommend at least maybe 3 or 4 pins. Now this thing is, these pins don't all have to be yours, but you kind of want to have some pins in there, and you are going to want to create your pin. Now the pin that you create is going to eventually turn into your ad. And I'll walk through how to do that once we kind of get set up. But I do want to share with you probably one of the best resources when it comes to really getting a lot of things started, whether it's Pinterest ads, Facebook ads, any of the stuff. And I'm just going to jump on over there really quickly. And it is this website called Placeit.net. Now this is by 𝗦𝗓𝗕𝗦𝗖𝗥𝗓𝗕, and if you don't know who that is, that's totally fine. But this is probably one of the best business resources that you can have available to you, because essentially it allows you to do so many things. I recommend signing up for it. It's not very expensive, but the nice thing is you can see here that you can go and you can create mock-ups, and there's mock-ups for literally everything in here. Pretty much under the sun. You can see here that there's like Facebook ads, you can have hoodies, all that kind of stuff. You go here to designs, you can see that there's all kinds of different designs, and really the big thing is right here, Pinterest pins. So if I just click on this, you can see that there's all of these essentially pre-made templates. And the nice thing is you just build everything on here. You can change it around. They have a bunch of images, fonts, styles, all that kind of stuff. Now I don't want to go super in-depth into Placeit. We did do a review of Placeit, so I will link up in the cards a video of our review on it, how to use it. But this is really a big resource because, like I said, if you really need to consistently be making these pins and you want to use them for advertising, Placeit makes it really, really easy. You don't have to have any design skills or any of that. They just make it really, really easy. And like I said, that's just scratching the surface. They have all kinds of stuff, video creators, logo generators, you name it, they probably have it. So I will leave a link to where you can go and register for Placeit. Like I said, there is a link in the description below where you can go and sign up and get your account. So let's go ahead and jump back on to Pinterest. So like I said, you can see here, we're going to want to kind of create some pins. You can see here are some of the pins that we've created in our account. And like I said, you can kind of scroll down and you can see all the different pins and whatnot. So to create a pin, it's very, very simple. You can go down here to create pin. And like I said, this is really going to be your ad. So the big thing to keep in mind here is, like I said, the dimensions. So you can do a picture, you can do a video. It's 100% up to you. Right now, pretty much both of them work really well. It just depends on what you're promoting. So video is starting to be a bit more of a thing, and I'm all for video advertising. So if you have the ability to do it, do it. But if you don't, really photo ads are working just as well here on Pinterest. So that's what you're going to want to do, is just click here or drag and drop your design in there. Now for your title, this is going to be essentially the main thing that people are going to see. So this is essentially like your headline. So you'll want to go ahead and type that in there. And then what your pin is about. So on here you can see that Pinterest recommends at least 100 characters, but you have up to 500 characters that you can put in here. Right here, the destination link, this is where people are going to be going when they click on your ad. And now finally, as you can see here, we have these different boards, and you're going to want to put this in a board that is relevant to what this ad campaign is. Now the thing is, a lot of times your Pinterest ad is going to be just a regular pin, so you are also going to be able to see organic reach based off of that ad as well. So just keep that in mind. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to jump back here because like I said, once we have our pins kind of created, and that's kind of a little overview of how to create your pin, you're going to need to set up your billing. And like I said, all of these steps are going to be here, so you're going to be able to do that. Now, for whatever reason, if you need to go and change your billing, you can go in here and go to your settings. And then in here, like I said, you're going to have all of this information. Now, what you want to do is you really want to go and fill out as much of this information as possible before you start running your very first ad, because all this does is it helps build more credibility. That way they don't shut down your account. Now, of course, you do need to go and read all of the advertising policies, understand how you can advertise, what you can and can't do. So I'll also leave a link to that in the description below. Make sure you go and read through that, because the last thing you want is your Pinterest account to be shut down. But one of the ways to kind of negate that is go in here and fill out all of the information, right? And then in here you have your account settings, and you want to make sure that you go in here and you set everything up. And then you want to come over here to claim, and you want to add your website. You can see that you have Instagram, YouTube, Etsy, Shopify, all those things. And make sure that you go and you do that, and just make sure that your account is fully filled out. So with that said, once all of your account is filled out, your billing is set up, these two should be checked off and ready to go. And then we can start actually setting up and running our very first ad. So I'm just going to come here to where it says ads and then create ad. And then you can see here that we are getting ready to choose our campaign objective. So the big thing here is determining what you really want to do. Now, for the sake of this training and this video, we are going to stick with traffic. Now, the reason we're not going to go with conversions or any of that is because you don't have your Pinterest pixel set up to be able to go and start tracking any of that data. And the big thing is, since you're a very new account, conversions aren't going to really work for you. You need to have people clicking on your ads, going through, doing that kind of stuff. Even if you don't install your Facebook pixel, it just needs time to really understand more about your account. So make sure if you want to use conversions, you get your Pinterest pixel set up. But like I said, for the sake of this demo, we're just going to go with traffic. But you can also do brand awareness, where you want to show your pin to as many people as possible, or you can go for video views and get as many views as possible. But like I said, right now we just want to try and get as many clicks to our website or to our landing page or whatever it is that we want people to be clicking over to. That's what we want. We want to try and get as many clicks as possible. So here for the name, I recommend that you set this up to have a naming convention, something that you normally use. So the thing that I like is it does give the date stamp. I don't care too much for the actual time. So normally what I do is we will just delete this out, leave it like this, and then we will name this. So let's call this test ad. And that way, when you are going through your account, you know exactly what kind of ad campaign this is, when it was started, and what essentially your goal is. So go ahead and name it whatever you would like. That's just how we like to do our naming. All right, and then here, where it has the daily spend limit and a lifetime limit. So the difference here is your daily spending limit is going to be the amount of money you are willing to spend every single day for that ad campaign. So as it says here, it could be $100, it could be $5, $3. I don't know if there is a minimum on Pinterest like Facebook does of $5. Of course, the more money you can spend, the better the results you're going to get, because it's able to go out and really start optimizing your ad. So just keep that in mind. Now, with the lifetime spend, this is how much you want to spend on the campaign overall. So for instance, let's say that you want to have a lifetime budget because maybe what you're promoting is just a limited time offer, or maybe it's an event, whatever it is, right? It's time sensitive. You can just put in here, I want to spend a total of $1,000 on this ad, and it doesn't really matter how much it spends every single day. Now, the other thing is you can actually add in both. So for this example, we can put in, $100 here and $1,000 here. So what's going to happen is this ad is going to spend $100 every single day until we reach $1,000. And then when we hit $1,000, we want to turn it off. So that's kind of nice that you have that there. For this example, I'm just going to leave it at $100. And we'll go on from there. So that's up to you. And then the same thing is the campaign status. Do you want it active? Meaning once you are completely done, then it's going to go and automatically be active and it's going to start showing your ad? Or do you want it to be paused, where pretty much you will have to go through and then turn it on? So normally you're just going to want it active. I'm going to have this as pause because this is just a dummy ad and we don't want essentially a fake ad running because that'll hurt our account. So I'm just going to click pause and we're going to go to continue. Now here we are in the ad group details. Now the same thing is you are going to want to change this to whatever makes sense. So normally in here we will put who we are targeting, right? So if this is, like moms 24 to 35, we will type that in there. That way we know who we were targeting in this ad campaign. All right, so we scroll down here. You can see that this is, if you've ever run Facebook advertising, this is very similar. If you haven't run Facebook advertising and you're interested in running Facebook ads, we did also create a beginner's guide to Facebook advertising, and you can check that video out in the card above. Watch that one after you've watched this one, but nevertheless, like I said, it's very similar. So you can see here that we have an audience, and this is something that we can create and reuse. So like I said, if you have a specific audience that is working, you can create that in here so you can continuously use it time and time again without filling out any of this stuff. So since we are just starting out, we don't have a new audience. These are essentially like custom audiences that you can reuse, but you don't need to fill that out to run an ad. You can go in here and just do the targeting. So right here on the interests, like I said, this is something that's very similar to Facebook, but the thing is, if you were a Facebook advertiser, you've done Facebook advertising, this is not the same. The way that people interact and the way that Facebook collects data is not the same as the way that Pinterest does. Now, the one thing is talking with our Pinterest rep and really understanding how Pinterest advertising works, and running ad campaigns for clients as well as ourselves. The one thing is the interests are really still in the early stages. A lot of these interests are coming from when people create their account and they ask people what they're interested in. That's really where a lot of the data is coming from. So it's not going to be that expansive. Now when it comes to testing and all that kind of stuff, I definitely think try testing interests. I think that if they're there, use everything that you have to your advantage. But you can see here that it is a little bit on the smaller side comparative to Facebook. But you can see here that, we have wedding cake. So this is probably people that are interested in wedding cakes. Maybe they've been saving a few things based on wedding cakes and that kind of stuff. So that's really where this interest-based targeting comes in. Now, like I said, it is limited, so I don't think that you can just come in here and just pick interest-based targeting and you're going to see success. Through a lot of the tests and stuff that we've done, really where you want to focus the majority of your targeting is going to be here on the keywords. And as you can see here, Pinterest is recommending that you have a minimum of 25 keywords based on what you are, who you're wanting to target. And the reason for that is because Pinterest is really a search engine based platform, right? People go and you type in on the top certain things, and that's really what the majority of Pinterest users are doing. They're just not just always just scrolling through things hoping that they'll see something that they like Facebook or Instagram or even TikTok. Pinterest is a very user-driven platform, meaning if somebody is looking for a wedding cake, they are probably typing in wedding cake ideas, right? So we can just go here and we can type that in, right? We can type in wedding cake, and you can see here that, you know, there's about 5 million plus searches for wedding cake, right? Wedding cake topper, you know, cake, cupcake ideas for weddings, right? So you can see here, we can kind of just scroll through here, see what makes sense. And like I said, as it says here, you want a minimum of about 25 keywords. I would suggest that you have closer to maybe like 100-ish keywords if you can. That's going to give you the best results. And you can see here that as we continue to add these, our potential audience size continues to increase here a little bit. And you can see that we can essentially just go through here and type in different things that our target audience is going to potentially be looking for, right? So you can see here that there's, you know, lots and lots of things that you can do, and it is really a search engine. So the best thing you can do is come in here, search for keywords, kind of get an idea of how many people are searching for maybe your product, your service, any of that stuff, and come up with an ad based around these targeted keywords and really what people are thinking in their mind, right? That's really where a lot of your creativity, writing copy, that kind of stuff is going to come into play. So I'm not going to go through here and add a whole bunch of keywords. Like I said, I just want to show you really where the bulk of your targeting is going to come, and that is really here in the keywords. Now, you can see down here that you can format your keywords based on, you know, phrase match, exact match, and then negative phrase or a negative exact match. So you want to make sure that you're kind of doing that, and this is really where you're going to see the best results, okay? So keeping with the theme of wedding cakes, because like I said, that's just randomly what we ended up landing on here, you can see here that we have the same thing. We can pick genders, we can do that kind of stuff, and realistically we know that more than likely a lot of the people that are on Pinterest are primarily women, so we just want to target females that are looking for wedding cake ideas, that kind of stuff. Now, with that said, that does not mean that you can't target men. That doesn't mean that you can't do any of that. Just in this example, this is what I would do if we were looking at setting this up for if we had a wedding cake business, or if we were running a Pinterest ad for, you know, somebody that designs wedding cakes. So, yeah, so go ahead, pick your gender. And then the same thing is ages. What makes the most sense when it comes to your demographics, right? And you can see here, it's pretty much just as simple as clicking, you know, a few buttons here, and we can narrow it down. And really, this is probably what I would pick, like I said, just based on the little bit of information that I know about weddings, and that kind of stuff, some of the things that we've done in that industry. Yeah, so you can go ahead and do that. And then right here, locations. Do you want all US locations? Do you want to pick specific locations? And you can see here, there is quite a few different places. There is quite a few different places that Pinterest is at. So like I said, pick whatever makes the most sense for you. And then the same thing, languages. Do you want all languages? Do you want to pick a specific language? Right? So the nice thing is right, like if we decide, hey, we're going to run this pin and we want it here in the US, but maybe we only want to target Spanish speakers in the US, right? Really narrowing it down here if we want. Now, the same thing is that if you do pick all languages, that does not mean that it's just going to show your ad to just people that their first language is English. It's going to show you anybody. So like I said, even if, let's say that they speak Mandarin, that's their first language and they don't speak very good English, if you pick all languages, it's still going to show that ad to that person. So just keep those things in mind when you're going through here setting up your ad. Then the same thing, devices. What kind of devices do you want this to be on? And when it comes to devices, the big thing is the majority of people that are looking at Pinterest are going to be on their mobile device. So usually that's what we leave. A lot of the web stuff we usually take off just because there isn't that many people on there. But like I said, you can leave it if you want. You have those to choose from. Advanced options. So as it says here, add group placement. Do you want all, which is every placement that Pinterest has? Do you want browse? And if you click this little question mark here, you can see that essentially what this is telling you is that this type of targeting and where the placement is going to be for this ad is going to be their home feed and related pins, or do you just want to appear in search? Now, both of these are really good, and it really depends on what you're trying to do and what you're wanting to accomplish. So if you really want to go after people that are really looking to make buying decisions, then I would go with search, because you know that if somebody is typing in, wedding cake ideas, they are looking for places that have really good wedding cakes. They're looking for ideas. They're looking for those kinds of things, and they're more in a buying mode for that. So like I said, just keep that in mind. And then, so you have that. You can see here, do you want to use your Pinterest expanded, do you want to use your pin to expand your targeting? Now, essentially what this means is, let's say whatever you put in there, if it finds that there is something common amongst the people clicking on your ad, it's going to look at other things that are similar between those people and find other people similar to them and show your ad. So I recommend turning this off at the beginning, because when you're going through and you really want to understand what demographics, targeting, keywords, any of that stuff is working, if you have this checked, it's not going to show you that, right? Where maybe a keyword that you have is like best wedding cakes, but maybe where it's actually finding people is like, best wedding photography, right? It's similar, but it's not quite there. And it's not going to tell you that. It's just going to automatically go and show it to those people. So I recommend keeping it off just at the beginning so that you can get the data that you need to see what's working and what's not working. And this is one of the things that I get a little confused with Pinterest, is now it's asking again for what our budget is. And you can see here that this ad is going to be continuously running starting today. And then if you go down here, you can see that we can actually change the time, right? This is the start date and this is the end date as well as the time. So in here, I just put the same amount. Like I said, we're running about $100 a day on this ad campaign. And on here, you don't have the option like we did before where you can add both. So just pick the one that you want to stick with. Like I said here, we're just going to do a daily budget. We're not going to put an end date. I'm going to have it where I am going to have to come in here and turn this ad off whenever I want to stop running it. And then down here, you can see optimization and delivery. So this is really going to come down to the bidding style. So you can see here that we have recommended. And essentially what this is this is just going to try and get you the most clicks for your budget. Or we can hit custom, and you can see here that essentially how much money do we want to spend per click. So you can see here that it has 82 cents, and it says a bid of $2.30 or higher would be competitive at what we're essentially trying to target, right, for wedding cake. So you can change this if you want. Like I said, it's 100% up to you. If you're just starting out, I recommend just going with automatic. And now if we scroll down here, you can see that here are some pins. Now it's going to show all the pins. So you can see here, these 3 pins here are pins that we actually saved that we didn't create. So that's one of the interesting things, is you can use a pin that someone else made and run ads to it, but you can't like link them to your destination page, right? So it's a little interesting there. Like I said, I don't have anything cake related, but I'm just going to pick this right here, our Black Friday email headlines. And yeah, so you'll just want to go through there, pick the pin that you want. And like I said, I'm just going to pick this one. And pick this one, and you can actually pick multiple pins if you would like. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. You can see here that when I go here, it has this 1 pin selected, and you can see here that I can make just some minor adjustments here to like where the destination is going to go, as well as the name, and this is the name of the campaign. So you can see here, I can remove it. I can also preview it. But pretty much, other than that, that's pretty much getting everything set up. Then all you want to do is click this big launch button down here. We should have our test ad right here. And you can see that it is paused because I did not check it to be active. But if for whatever reason it's paused, all you got to do is toggle this little button here, and now it is active and it's going to start running. Now, you're probably going to want to give it at least 24 hours for it to kind of kick on, start running, doing that kind of stuff. But yeah, that is pretty much it. Like I said, Pinterest advertising is not too complicated. I think that the big key takeaways to keep in mind is that Pinterest is a search-based platform. So even though it gives you the option for interest-based targeting, that's not really where the power of the ad platform comes in. It's more on the keywords. So you really want to think about it kind of more in the sense of Google search-based ads, pay-per-click ads, that kind of thing, where people are going and they are searching for things and your ad can pop up. That's really how I like to think about it. Now, Pinterest, I think, is also a fantastic remarketing platform, meaning if you have people going to your website and then them being able to see ads on Pinterest, it works really, really well. Now, of course, you're going to need to set up your pixels and do all that kind of stuff. So if you found this video useful and helpful in getting you set up and really helping you run your very first Pinterest ad campaign, like I said, make sure to give us a like. We have a bunch of resources down in the description below, so make sure to go and check those out. Like I said, places where you can go and very easily create your pins and create your Pinterest ads. That way you can get them set up and running. And like I said, if you are wanting to take Pinterest a little bit more serious and you're interested in potentially hiring us to just do all of your Pinterest advertising, there is also a link in the description below where we can jump on a quick Pinterest strategy session and really even just see if Pinterest makes sense for you and your business, and if it is even going to be profitable. Because I know that, like I said, Pinterest is still one of those accounts that not every business, I believe, can utilize the platform just based on the demographics. Of course, every single year, every single day, there's more people creating accounts, more users, so that's going to continuously change. But like I said, right now, I think that there's just a few types of businesses that can really capitalize on it. And like I said, it's really if you have a predominant, more female-based product service offering any of those kinds of things, you're really going to have a leg up because, like I said, the majority of users are female. So just keep that in mind. But yeah, other than that, I hope that you found this video useful and insightful. And like I said, if you are wanting to also learn how to do Facebook advertising, we have a beginner's guide on Facebook advertising as well. So make sure to go and check that video out.